Hey YouTube, are you ready to have the Great League broken? Because that is what we are going to have with Aegislash. It is a new Pokemon debuting in Pokemon Go, and it is going to be absolutely dominant. We're going to look at it in the Great League and how strong it is and why it is going to be insanely strong. The question is do you need to get one? Because that is an obvious yes. The question is, how are you going to deal with it? So it is the Ultra Unlock Steel and Scales event starting tomorrow, July 22nd at 10 a.m. and running through to Sunday. Again, they're back with these 5-day events. I kind of like the schedule. Okay, the following Pokemon first discovered in the Kalos region, Honedge, Doublade, and Aegislash are available in GBL. Again, loving this 4 times XP for catching and 4 times dust. Like, these are event bonuses that even if the event themselves are kind of mid, you would go out just for these bonuses. But this event is not mid because there are definitely Pokemon that you want in this in the wild and raids. So increased chance for shiny Bagon and Beldum, increased chance of shiny Unknown U. Go Battle League, yay, something for us. During the event, Honedge will appear in both Go Battle League reward tracks starting at rank 6, which is very, very early. You like if you've been playing at all, you are already at rank 6. After more frequently in the premium event. I don't love that they do this, but you know, it's okay. After the event, Honedge will appear in both Go Battle League rewards starting in rank 16 and more frequently in the premium track. Wild encounters. So you will see in the wild encounters, it's not in the wild encounters. There is an increased chance for shiny Rookity if you care about that, because I don't know why you would care when there's a community coming next month where you will get a ton of them. But Magnemite, Dratini, Aeron, Bagon, Beldum, Ferrocy, Noibat, Rookity, and maybe Axew, Gumi. So lots of dragons in this, dragons and steel in this, which I guess is why they call it a Steel and Scales event. Wow, how clever. Okay, raids, Unknown U, Gibble, Clink, Dino, Honedge. There's your Honedge, right? This is where I think you're going to have to get it. Skarmory, Bisharp, Dragology, and Turtonator. So yes, dragons and steels. Event research, event theme, field research tasks will be available. Complete these tasks to earn XP and Stardust and encounters with event theme Pokemon. Collection challenges, stores. Okay, this Pokemon. Everyone says that this Pokemon was going to break the meta, and why is it going to break the meta? Let me just move this over. Tighten this a bit. So why is this going to break this? So there's 2 of them. There's the shield and the blade. But the blade is, let's just do it the blade because we're just going to basically ignore the blade. It is an insane glass cannon. Like this is insane. 178 attack, 67 defense, 104 stamina, which means you cannot take, like, I think like 3 fast moves are going to take you down. Like, this thing is that's not true, but this thing is very, very, very glassy. So why you're going to see it in the shield scenarios, even though it has the same typing and the same fast move and the same charge moves as the shield version, it just, the stats are not worth it. But the stats on the shield version are insane. 80 defense, 80 attack, 250 defense, and 140 stamina for 2,800 overall. And you may be thinking, whoa, that's crazy. Have we seen this before? Yeah, it's called Bastiodon. So here's your Bastiodon, 80 defense, 247.6, and 139. So look at that. Same attack, 80, but then a higher defense, 250, and what did I say, 250, 140? So slightly higher defense and slightly higher stamina. So you have basically a same attack, slightly lower attack with this higher defense and stamina. So you got a Bastiodon. You have a Ghost Steel Bastiodon. So people are, okay, what are the weaknesses to Ghost and Steel? Well, hello, Goldango. Goldango is a Ghost Steel. So let's just look at what you are weak to here. Dark, Fire, Ghost, Ground. So the Ghost is weak to Dark and Ghost, and the Steel is weak to Fire and Ground. There are a lot of resistances. Double resisting, nope. Triple resisting normal typing, triple resisting poison, double resisting bug, and then single resisting dragon, fairy, flying, grass, ice, psychic, rock, steel, fighting. 12 resistances, of which 1 is a double and 2 are a triple. I always say I don't like Pokemon with 4 weaknesses or above, even if they have 12 resistances. I personally find that when you leave yourself vulnerable to your weaknesses, that I like, again, this is just my analysis, like my personal opinion. So you can just say you don't know what you're talking about. But what I have found is Pokemon with 4 to 5 weaknesses play way worse even if they have 12 resistances, because when you go up against one of your weaknesses, it's just such a dominating matchup, usually your losses. And if you give more opportunity for Pokemon to have dominating losses, like put dominating losses on you, that does not outweigh all the resistances you have, in my opinion. However, 12 resistances is very nice. So yes, there's a lot of ghost in the meta. There's a lot of ground in the meta. A little less dark because bug is buffed all through this season, and fire, fire's coming up a bit because there's bug got buffed and steel got buffed. So there's a lot more fire. I just put out actually you're gonna see it tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm gonna put out my legend team that hit last season was double fire, and I've got a double fire team coming Wednesday. So these 4 are very in the meta. That being said, bug got buffed in the meta. Poison got buffed is everywhere in the meta. Flying, there's a lot of flyers like Gligar and stuff. Although Gligar has dig. There are a lot of fightings in the meta. Steel's in the meta. There's a lot of typings in the meta that you resist. So it's going to be, I think, one of those weird ones where I don't know how it's going to play, how it's going to feel. But it's not going to feel like Bastion. And here's the reason it's not going to feel like Bastion. Because Bastion is, let's go to it for a second here. It's very bulky. And has like those same thing, like 3 to 9 weaknesses. But if you got something that resisted its fast move, like Smackdown, so if you were ground, this was just like you destroyed this Pokemon, right? Because you resisted the Smackdown, you resisted the Stone Edge. It took forever to get to the charge move. You do double super effective against it. So if you got like a ground Pokemon on Bastion, and this is why Bastion fills RPS, you just destroy it. You're not going to destroy this Pokemon because it has Psycho Cut, and Psycho Cut is one of the fastest charging fast moves in this game. So you have a move that doesn't do a ton of damage but charges at a speed of 9. So you are running the fast moves here. You can't see them. There's only 3 options right now: Flash Cannon, Gyro Ball, Shadow Ball. Which there's a reason there's only 3 is because if this thing had a better second move, this thing would be like number 1 ranked. I still think it's gonna be a top 10 ranked Pokemon, no matter what. Between the stats, the resistances, and then having Psycho Cut, Shadow Ball in of itself, this is probably like a top 3 to 5 Pokemon. Top 3 to 5 Pokemon even without a good second move. So Shadow Ball, so Psycho Cut charges at a speed of 9. You have so now because you're charging so fast and they know this Pokemon can be so broken, they're only going to give you slower energy moves that take a while to get to. So the first one is Shadow Ball. Now you get same type attack bonus on this because you are half ghost. So it is doing pretty good damage per energy, 55 for 120, 2.18, and it still comes at 14 and then 12, which is quite fast overall. You're in that, like 14 is kind of mid-range. I call like 8 to 10 pretty fast. 12 is like decently fast as well. And then when you get to like that 14, 16 turns per move, you're in that mid-range. So sort of mid-range on your first, borderline quick on your second, third, and fourth to get to 120 damage move. Again, you have to take your attack stat in, so it may not feel as heavy, but considering you can take a ton of damage, I bet you those Shadow Balls are going to add up a lot faster than you want them to. Flash Cannon, 70 for 132, 1.88. You would really only throw that where Shadow Ball is resisted. So Shadow Ghost is going to be resisted by Dark, and it's going to be resisted by Normal type. And I'm pretty sure that is it. So if you see a Normal or Dark type, you will throw Flash Cannon. Otherwise, you are throwing Shadow Ball every single time. So in the Great League, in the 1 shield scenario, I put in the Aegislash, but it has a 1 in 46. The attack heavy one is 1 in 46, but a 31 and 16 record. So let's actually just put it into this one so we can see just the distribution here. 30 and 17. And you know what? This is what I'm talking about, why it could potentially still, honestly, 30 and 17. Wait, let me maximize its stats here, because maybe that defensive stats maximized is going to give it what you need to put you over the top here. But basically the Where am I? There it is, the IVs. Basically a 499 average is quite bad, but if you maximize this to a stat 1, I'm wondering if you're going to pick up a lot more. There we go. That makes more sense. So 31 and so do IVs matter? Yes. For a Pokemon like this that is so low attack and high, people ask, do IVs matter? IVs matter if the difference in levels is going to be like 6 to 7. So a 0, 12, 15 is going to get you to a level 47. Whereas if you put like a 15 attack here, you got 36. That is 11 levels worth. So yes, that will make a difference. 0 attack makes a difference. 31, 16, and way higher average. So you need ideally as close to rank 1 as you can. So you're probably gonna have to trade, right? Because you're gonna get these from raids or GBL. So you're gonna have to trade to get some lower ones, and you're gonna need XL candies because you're 47. You're gonna need some XL candies. So already accessibility issues, right off the bat. However, I mentioned when you have a bunch of weaknesses, I don't like that it feels like RPS at times. Now this is kind of like a evenish standard distribution here. You're not like killing anything in like the 800-900 range, but now you're not losing in like the 100 plus range. However, you are losing a few of these in the 200 to 300 range. And this comes down to your 4 weaknesses, right? You have your ghost. So Morpeko's second aura wheel will be dark. Gastrodon has the ground because you're steel. Dark, 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 fire, ground, ghost, a normal typing that resists your ghost move, and it has a fire punch, and it has a ground move. Even for alligator beats it with just a standard hydro cannon, right? So there are a lot of Pokemon that can deal with this, and this is why, although it will be very strong, it's not going to be super overpowered because of those 4 weaknesses, right? You have a lot of Pokemon. All these Pokemon I just mentioned are very meta. You see these Pokemon constantly. So you can have 2 to 3. I haven't even gone through the rest of these. Moltres, Ferret, Skeldurge, Malamar, Sandslash, Drapion. These are very, very meta Pokemon. So the fact that you can beat this Pokemon with a bunch of meta Pokemon shows me that between the typing and between it just having a bad move set overall, like Shadow Ball is okay, but otherwise having a bad move set makes this thing not overpowered. Do beat Dusclops, Clodsire, Dedenne, Gligar, Lapras, Glaciopod, Jellicent, Scizor, Corsola, Annihilate, Blastoise, Primeape, Tinkaton. So there are a lot of Pokemon in the meta that you do beat. Jumpluff, Glaciopod, Wigglytuff, Annihilate, Dragalge. There's a lot of Pokemon in the meta that you do beat. So I'll be interested to see. Let's just look at the even shield scenarios. Let's just take a look at it in the zeros. Zeros, you are 33 and 14. And in the twos, you are terrible, 22 and 25. Interesting. I'm guessing because it just takes a while to get to all your moves and you're not attack heavy. So definitely plays better in the ones and zeros. But it looks like between your weaknesses and your movesets, it may not be as overpowered as it could be. But definitely, I still think it's going to be a top 10 ranked Pokemon. There's a lot of other dragons in this meta. So Dragonair, Dragonite. And then there's some like Ferrothorns and Corviknights here. Corviknight I wouldn't build up until the community day. If you get a good one, I would just hold on to it. So let's see. I talked about the Bastiodon. I talked about the typings here. Let's go. There is a Magnezone. There is a Magnemite, which becomes a Magneton and Magnezone. More niche play here, but the main thing is the dragons. There is Dragalge in the wild that I mentioned here. Not wild, the 3-star raids. So if you need a Dragalge 3-star raids, it's one of the top. And then you got your, I think I saw Gumi in the wild for Goodra. And then you got your Dragonair and Dragonites all through here. So dragons have some play. Unfortunately, in the Great League, it's more limited. They really have a lot more play in the Ultra League here. So as you're going to see here, you know, Dragalge is your 36th ranked Pokemon here, and Dragonite is in the top 100, and Guja's at 102. So definitely more play in the Ultra League for these dragons. And then there's a couple other Pokemon. Steel, Matang, yes, the Metagross is more just a raid attacker, but Matang here does have some play with that Fury Cutter buff, and Psyshock is a pretty decent move overall, got buffed in previous seasons. Metagross, decent in the Master League. Again, it's ranked 22 in the Master League. Although it's ranked 22 in the Master League, I don't think it plays a lot in the Master League Open. I think Master League Premier is where it really, really shines, and then obviously as a raid attacker. And then Fairthorn, 227 in the Open Great League. Definitely has more play in limited cups, so I would just focus on, you can build one up, but it's definitely going to have more play in limited cups. And then Corviknight. Yes, I mean, I told you not to build up a Corviknight because we're going to have a community day next month. There's also the other argument that if you want to use Corviknight now, you can build it up knowing that you're probably going to get a better one anyways. But Corviknight, Rookidee, is a top Great League and a top Ultra League ranked Pokemon, number 5 here in Ultra League. So you need the Excels. I know it has a community day coming up. So if you don't want to build it up, I understand. If you want to save that dust and save those XL candies for the Ultra League in particular, makes sense. But yeah, so this Pokemon, definitely worth one getting. I will definitely not be the first to showcase this. I will showcase this eventually. I think there's the very real issue that you need. How many XL candies do you need for level 47? Like 100 and 180-ish, somewhere around there. And you're only getting it from raids, the 1-star raid here, and you're only getting it from, if you're lucky, GBL, right? So you either start using your like a green pass to do the premium track, but that's the problem, right? You need to use the green pass and the premium track. You need to win enough matches to get the encounter, and then you got to hope that a more frequently means like every time, because otherwise it's a lot to burn on a premium pass just to play GBL. I prefer just a free rank, but if you're not getting many from the free ranks, you're basically spending a raid pass to get it in the 1-star. But to me, I know there's other benefits of using, because like you get more dust and stuff in the Great League, but you know, just from a statistics perspective, I think I would rather just go guarantee it in the 1-star raid than I would trying to roll the dice that I'm going to, yes, more dust, but potentially not get it as a option there. I just don't think that play is worth it. But again, you're going to need 180 plus XL candies, and I don't think I got 180 XL candies lying around, and I don't think I'd be investing that much to get this Pokemon. So the question that I said that it makes a difference from like level 47 to level 47 versus level 38, because I just did the extremes. So the question is, what if you get something that needs only like a few XL candies versus the rank one? So let's maximize the first one, 47. Let's throw in something that we only need like a few XL candies, 8 attack. Not ideal, but 8 attack. Or let's just do it. You know what? Let's just do a raid. You get a 10, 12, 15. You get a 10, 12, 15 from a raid. I'm only going to do a raid. I don't want to invest any XL candies. Can I play with this Pokemon, or do I need the level 47? The difference in the top versus the second is 6 matchups and 45 on the points. And I part of me knew that because I've done this analysis before, and the analysis basically shows that once you're at that like 4 to 5 level difference, you lose enough matchups that it actually does make a difference. So it should not be surprising that a raid IV that gets you to level 39 versus a level 47 rank 1, there is 6 more losses and 46 points difference in the average, which for those of you who do not know the average, that's a lot. 46 is a significant amount of difference in the average. And what that means is, yes, obviously you're going to have 6 more wins here, but your losses are just much worse. And you can just see that in the Skeldridge one, right? So in the first one, you're losing 418, which means it's like you lose, but it's close. But then on the Bad IV one, you're losing 95, which means you're getting killed. Sandslash 460 versus 285. And so on paper, if you don't really know what that means on paper, it just means that your opponent is going to be left with like way more health. So just to run the sims, just to give you an idea, in that Skeldridge matchup, you land a Shadow Ball before they take you out, which means you get them down to 23 health. But in this one, you're not going to land the Shadow Ball, the second Shadow Ball, which means they're left with 114 health. And there's a big difference going against a Pokemon that's in the red versus which has the majority of its health left. So unfortunately, you will need to get this Pokemon a few XL candies. You know, let's reroll to like a 6. Let's reroll to a 6 attack. Okay, I see you. Your average is probably much worse. Yeah, but 2 matchups. So a 6 attack only needs a few XL candies. The average is much worse, but you only lose 2 matchups, Dusclops and Feraligatr. But you still have, like I said, like right here, still have those like big drops here that you do not want those matchups. So those matchups, which you could maybe stay in with the rank 1, are really going to cost you. But otherwise, not too bad. So I guess you can get away with like a level 41, 42, few XLs, but I think if you're going to invest a couple XLs, you probably just save them for more of the rank 1. Again, I don't think you need the rank 1. I think you can probably get by with like a 2 attack, 2 or 3 attack. I put in 3 there, but let's just make it like a 2 attack, 45. I bet you this is, yeah. So the 2 attack, same matchups, slightly worse on the average, but overall you don't lose matchups. You just have these sort of like scenarios here where you're losing a bit more here. Anyways, that was maybe more of an analysis that needed to be done, but I think it's important to know how strong this Pokemon is going to be, where is its place in the meta, how to beat it, and do you need the IVs? So hopefully this video helped you with some of those questions. Yeah, so definitely I'm going to be doing some raids for this. I think for me, I mean, if you have this Pokemon and you somehow get the XLs, or I don't care how you do it, and you play GBL and you want me to showcase the videos, please send me some battles, link in the description. I guarantee you, I will do a Beyond the Hype on this Pokemon when I eventually get the XLs for it. I'm not going to be raiding enough to get the 180, 200 XLs I need for this Pokemon. I think this is going to be a long process for me to get this Pokemon, and I'd rather just deal with Pokemon that can counter it, that are strong in the meta, as opposed to trying to force myself to grind for this in the short term. It'll come when it comes for me. But to each their own. Let me know what you plan to do with this Pokemon. Are you going to grind for it? Are you just going to let it come as it may? Are you going to build it up? Are you going to wait? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.